On Monday, the 28th of July 2025, our world was turned upside down. Sam, our youngest son of 28, had gone into hospital for a routine operation. The plan was to pick him up later that day after the op, and he'd recovered.
Amy, his wife, gave the news that as they had put him under the general anaesthetic, his lungs had gone into a bronchial spasm. They had struggled to get him to breathe in theatre, so he had been transferred to the intensive care unit and placed on a ventilator. Could we come as soon as possible to the hospital, we were asked.
The news from ICU was chilling. As we got there, we found out he was on the most aggressive kind of ventilation and in a coma. They couldn't recruit his lungs. The consultant sat us down in a little room and talked to us about letting family members know that he was critically ill. They were out of options as what to do, but at that time he was too poorly to even consider moving him.
Yes, his saturation levels were really poor. He didn't look ill, but just asleep. But he had so many wires and tubes coming out of him. For 6 solid weeks we prayed, believing that everything is possible with God.
As we approached the 4th week, a regional Bible week was fast approaching. It's called Awaken. I said to the Lord, I am not going to go to Awaken until I've got an incredible testimony of your healing power. And on the Saturday of the conference, something absolutely miraculous happened.
Sam came around enough to begin to scribble on a whiteboard. Eventually, we were able to decipher that he had written the name Dave Bell. Dave Bell is our worship pastor from Alive Church.
I put Dave Bell's name in my phone and, as expected, a list of his songs came up. And then, incredibly, with all the patients on ICU and the staff, we watched as Sam shakily kind of thumbed down to a song called I Know the Healer. Clicking on it, we played it with the phone by his head on the pillow. And the presence of God came into the ICU unit like nothing ever before. The staff all paused as the song played and tears streamed down Sam's face. We all began to cry and then began to rejoice, knowing the truth that God was indeed the healer. And this was Sam's promise that he was going to get better.
Following that moment, we saw daily miraculous things happen. Sam became the first patient on ventilation to walk the length of ICU, and on Monday the 8th of September, Sam returned home straight from ICU without any need for him to go onto a ward.
I became myself again. I wasn't this person who was just lying there on a machine. I became who I was, you know. We knew the healer, and I believe in a God of miracles. One that would move mountains. I believe that God gives the strongest of soldiers the hardest of battles.
And it was just incredible that when we played it, I Know the Healer, it was the moment that released the healing in his life. And we give God all the praise and all the glory.